welcome back to AJOKE'S vlog. My name is AJOKE. Hope you guys are fine. How's everything? How's the lockdown at your end? Okay, for me today is day 99. Tomorrow will be the day 100. I was going to post this vlog on the 100th day, but then I'm just like, there's no difference between 99 and 100. Okay, to every returnee subscriber, thank you so much for always coming back. And if you are a new subscriber, welcome to AJOKE'S vlog. You're welcome. I thank you for dropping by. Please do subscribe by clicking on the red button. Today, guys, you will notice that this is not me. This is not me. And from the thumbnail you can also see that this is not like a story time. This is just me keeping it real with you about my mental health challenges during the lockdown or during the quarantine period. Like, I know that I'm not a social person. I'm more of an indoor kind of person. I love solitude. I love being indoor and all that. So when this whole thing came up, I thought I was going to pull through and all that. But then I'm pulling through. God is helping me. But in every ways, I've been from having severe anxiety, panics and all that. I've thought of suicide. I was thinking, am I depressed? You know, my thoughts were not just normal, they were just so jumbled up and all that. But out of the whole thing, I got to my breaking point. When I reached out to someone, not even just one person. I reached out to someone. I was explaining some stuff to him, and he was like, you know what your problem is? Your problem is the fact that you want to be a good girl, and you refuse to understand that there is no place for good girls in the world. Like, you should just allow me introduce you to my friend. This is what he does. He's a link up. He will link you to guys. They sleep with you and give you money and all that. Seriously, when he was saying it, I was actually laughing because I took it as a joke. I never knew that it was saved in my subconscious rather, to haunt me. I was also talking to someone about the things I want to do, about plans, and this person is actually a dear one, a family member, and he was like, what is your problem? My friend, sit your ass down and go and marry. You've always failed at some important things, and I don't think you have the sorry guys, that I don't think you have the consciousness or the strength to pull this through. And I took it also in good faith. And then I went to bed. Everything was fine. Then one morning I woke up. I was on my Facebook and I saw the death of a young girl that committed suicide. That was a trigger for me, because I was like, wow, why would this girl commit suicide? She's just so promising. And at that point, you know, this is me being real. At that point, the thought started coming. Like, yeah, she's promising the same way you are promising. And when she realized the truth of life, that she can achieve all the things she set her heart to achieve, that was why she took her own life. This person is your family and he already called you a failure. So don't you think this person has authority to decide who you are based on the experiences and all that? And it started sinking into my mind. I was fighting to shut it out, but it was just sinking. It was sinking. And before you know it, I was spiraling so bad. 1 week, I wasn't stepping out of my room. I wasn't interacting with anybody. I was eating, actually. But this is how I do it. I'll wake up like 4:35 when nobody's up, to the kitchen to cook anything I think I would need outside till evening I'll bring into the room. And most times I eat just once a day. Most times if I want to do my emotional eating, I'll also check by 4 or 3. When it's not yet time for dinner, I'll go cook dinner and serve my dinner, bring it into my room. And I was just like that for 1 week. And I was making vlog. I think I made 2 vlog at that time. It took me so much effort to stand up from my bed, to dress up and record that vlog. I was just there, numb and all that. And until one morning when I just woke up, and it was like as if someone was beside me talking to me, like, why don't you just stand up and get a knife and kill yourself? I was like, why should I kill myself? I can't kill myself. That's so painful. And the thought was like, why don't you just get a sharp object and start cutting yourself? By the time you cut yourself, you realize that you are numb to pain. Like, you felt a lot of pains, and you realize, you think you can feel pain, but if you start cutting yourself, you are numb to pain. And I stood up and I picked the sharp object and I was going to cut myself. Then I'm like, if I cut myself, how do I explain to people when they see these scars on me? What would I tell them happened to me with these scars? So I dropped that, and okay, then my mind went to the bleach for clothes that I use in washing clothes. Like, okay, since nobody's in the room, you're just the only one, why don't you just drink this bleach? And it's not painful. The girl that committed suicide, if it was painful, she was not going to die. Nobody would shout at you, nobody would tell you you did something bad and all that. And at that point, I was just saying, no, I can't do this. I was hoping someone would pass by, or someone in the next room will hear me and knock on my door to wake me up to a better reality, but nobody heard me. I was hitting the wall to notify my next door neighbor. Nobody. And suddenly I could not breathe. I was just crying. I laid there, I was just crying. The voices kept on coming. The voices really kept on coming. And at that point, I was saying, God, please help me. God, please help me. And it was like, if God wants to help you, everything you've been putting your effort in, everything you've been doing, your day-to-day life, trying to achieve this goal, trying to get better, trying to just make your life more pleasant, would have worked well. So that means God wasn't ready to help you. The voice was saying that to me, like, and it was giving me instances of people that I know that maybe they needed help from God and they were praying, and the thing did not just come true till they died. And it was like, God failed this person. But at that point, I held on to the light of the understanding that these people made me understand that even when we don't have the things we ask for, even when we put in effort in things and it did not just work out the way we desire, even when things are happening and all that, that God has not failed them, even when they are like a certified authority, and that God did not fail them, that everything works together for good. And I was just saying, everything works together for good. God has not failed me. And it was really painful. At that same point, I was finding myself thinking, if God really did not fail me, then why did all this not just work out, considering the efforts, the time, the study and everything, the finances I have put in this and all that. And it was really bad. I was up again. I was going to get the bleach, and I just sat back and I was like, God, I know you're alive. If you want me to just survive this, please send your angels to mount guard on my heart, to mount guard on my thoughts, to mount guard all around me. Send your angels to help me, because at that point I realized that I was so vulnerable. I was not like the vulnerable, but this is just the height of vulnerable. Like, I was listening to someone that I do not know. I was like, someone was talking to me that I do not know. And I was just like, God, please send your angels. Let your angels mount guard over me. Let your angels mount guard over me. Let your angels mount guard over me. And I was just saying that, and I lay there, and I begin to feel peace. And I begin to really feel peace. I begin to feel peace, and it was like the voice stopped talking at some point, and later the voice came back, and the voice was like, it can't work. God doesn't care about you. God doesn't care about you. You need to wake up from this idea that God cares about you enough to help you. And I was just saying, God, please help me. God, please, I need you to help me. And at that point, two Bible verses that I've never ever considered in my life popped up, and it was just all promises. It was just all promises. It was just all words of comfort. And I just had to stand up. I picked my phone. I began to read aloud. Trying to silence the voice that's talking to me. I begin to read it aloud. I begin to confess it to myself. So I just read it and read it. I was just at it till I slept off, and I woke up and the voices were not there again. Now, in as much as people want to turn this whole thing into being religious, or it was the devil and all that, it was just me being vulnerable. It was just me at the lowest. It was just all this lockdown restrictions and everything, and it gave the negative thoughts an expression. And I would really want to see a therapist after this lockdown is over. I've taken therapy with because of anxiety disorder for like 6 months. I've taken therapies. Like, I paid like 6,000. I paid like 6,000 euro, and that is like 300,000. And this thing only works for a while, and it wasn't working even when I followed through with the drugs and all that. And I just realized that I can't live my life taking drugs for anxiety disorder or anxiety panics and all that. Why would I just keep taking drugs? And it would just be like I'm taking why will I keep taking medication? It's just like I'm taking maybe heroin or cocaine, and to feel good, and it wears off and I'm back. That is the way the medications are. So I really do not feel, if it's gonna work, if there is one that will work and shut the whole thing off, it's okay. But that is just the way it feels when you take medications for anxiety disorder. It doesn't take away the panics. It only numbs you, makes you feel at peace, calms your maybe whatever testosterone or whatever acid or reaction it is, and before you know it, you're back at it again. You're back to reality. That is why I stopped taking drugs, and I'm really looking for a therapist like that would help me through this. And aside the fact that because of therapists, I would also want to say this: if you were going through any mental health issues, anxiety disorder, depression, paranoid deficiency or paranoid disorder and everything, this is what I want to tell you. Don't put pressure on yourself. Like, that is one thing I keep doing to myself during this lockdown. Like, I just felt maybe because I was juggling school with hustling, trying to raise money to pay my tuition and everything, maybe that was what has not given me the time to really settle down and think of how I would achieve the major dreams and the plans I have set in motion for myself. So I was pushing myself. I was really, really pushing myself to take courses, to just do everything, because it's not like I'm pressured. It's not like I'm pressured, but it's different when you're just 1 year away from 30 years old, and there are some things you've not achieved. There's some things you've not achieved. Like, I really, really would want to start my master's degree. I was trying to raise money for that. So I lost one of the major scholarship that I applied for. I would really want to take that scholarship program. I lost it, so it was just like I was thinking of better ways to push myself to be able to achieve that. And I think it got to me like it wasn't gonna happen, which I believe it will still happen. It will happen. So if you're going through any mental health issue, don't push yourself, and please don't even begin to try to play around. Don't try to play around when people use negative words on you, when toxic people reached out to you. Don't feel like it doesn't hurt. Okay, if you need to shut them out, I had to just block one of my parents. I had to just block one of my parents to take hold of my sanity because of the pressure and everything. So then just believe God. I know it's hard to just believe God. It hard, but if there is one thing that has rebranded the way I saw God, God is sensitive to the way we feel. God understands when we are vulnerable. God understands when we are going through pain that we can talk to people about. He understands seriously. Because at that point, when I begged him to help me position angels on my thoughts around me, if he didn't do that, probably you would just heard that a girl started a vlog in January, and in April she's no more. So people will tell you you don't bring religion into mental health issue, but it's the truth. I prayed to God and he answered me. So it might not be the reason for everything or anything, but at that point that he did, it kept me alive. And this morning I woke up, I was feeling really bad. I went back to the verse of the Bible that he gave to me the other day, and I held on to it. Do fun things, don't judge yourself. People tell me, oh, you are doing emotional eating. Thank you. If that's the only thing that would distract me from the thoughts and the whatever of this mental health issue, it's fine. If it is connection, and then you people would probably say, why don't you just talk to people? Like, I don't know how I'm going to talk to people, because I was trying to explain how I'm feeling with the triggers to a friend, and I realized that she was also feeling bad about the death of the girl. So I can't, because I was trying to save myself, trigger another person to lose their mind and all that. Let's just keep holding on. I know it's difficult. It's really difficult, because a lot of people reached out to me from I lost my job, they canceled my appointment, I wasn't paid in full and all that. But let's just keep holding on. Let's just keep holding on. If you're yet to subscribe, please do subscribe. And please, this is not a pity vlog. I'm just trying to be vulnerable to encourage whoever it is that is going through difficult times, through this lockdown. It can get better. It will get better. God will heal the world. Science will evolve to get the vaccine, and everything will be fine. All right, guys, I so much love you. Thank you for